Well, good day, folks. Good day, and welcome to Noel's Garden Tractors and Firewood. And I thought I would, excuse me, I thought I would do a 20-year review on Dave's favorite tractor. Anyway, this Ford tractor that you see behind me here, we have had for 20 years yesterday. So I'll do a little review on that and see if I can remember all the things that has gone on with it in 20 years. And my son and I bought that. And then if you've noticed in some of the videos that over at my son's place, there's a black half-ton Ford truck in the yard. And 19 years ago yesterday, my son bought that. And it hasn't been on the road in a bit. It still runs, but anyway, the body's all rusted. And we had done all the body work on it, 18 years ago or more, but it's all going bad again. Anyway, this video is about this Ford tractor here with the cab. So I'll get you turned around here and we'll have a look at the weather. So kind of nippy on the nippies today, that's for sure. 7 degrees Celsius and 45 degrees Fahrenheit. Jumping, that's getting down there. 17 mile an hour west wind. You don't really feel too much wind, but it's keeping it cool. So today is 12 and sunny. As time goes on here, it's sunny and sunny and sunny and sunny and a little cloud next week maybe, but temperatures are coming back up a bit, so that's good. I might be able to get outside again. Anyway, on to the tractor here. If I can remember everything, I should find myself a chair. There now. So this tractor, my son and I bought 20 years ago, yesterday. And we are the third owner of this tractor. And so it's an LGT 165 Ford, which is made by Jacobsen. The Ford brand seemed to be a lot more popular, I guess, because of the dealer network than the Jacobsen brand. If you had a Jacobsen tractor like this one, it would be orange and have a white Jacobsen wrote down the side of it. But basically the same tractor. Might have a different grill in it. Some of them did, I guess. But anyway, this tractor model, they call this a closed side tractor, and the earlier ones were called an open side tractor. This model was made from 1977 to 1983. I'm not sure of the year of this one because the serial model and serial plate is gone. So I kind of guessed it at about a 1980. So when we bought the tractor, it came with a snow blower. As you see on there now is a snow thrower. I'll take you out after a little bit and show you where the snow blower is. So it came with a snow blower. It came with a 50-inch wide mowing deck, and it came with a 36-inch wide rear tiller. And Dave's favorite part, it came with the cab. So that was quite a tractor in its day and when it was new, and it would be pricey. This tractor, with no attachments or anything on it, weighs 850 pounds with no added attachments or other weight on it. So it's a heavy machine. It is a 16 horsepower Kohler 341 or K341 16 horsepower engine in it. And it has a hydrostatic transmission. It has a 2-speed transaxle, high and low speed, hydraulic lift, and it's kind of basically what I did not too long ago on Kablooey. Kablooey is basically the same tractor. Anyway, we've had this, like I say, 20 years, this tractor. The first few years, it did everything. It blew the snow, and it cut the grass, and it tilled our gardens, and all that kind of stuff. And then as we got going along with garden tractors, we got more garden tractors, and this one began to do a little less of the work. So anyway, that's the way it goes. So this engine, I did put a kit in it, which was an eBay kit. Came with the piston, rings, rod, valves, gaskets, and just a basic engine kit. So I put that in. Oh boy, that'd be 13 years ago, probably now. So still going. And what else? Once, and I can't remember if this was before the engine rebuild or after, but it started to get a knock in it. And I said, holy cats, that engine is gone. So I started taking it apart. And I'm not sure how I did that. But anyway, I got it apart to the point where I could see the flywheel. And the flywheel was loose, actually. So it was clunking back and forth on the keyway is what the noise was. So just retightened up the bolt, and I kind of think I put some goop on that so it wouldn't loosen off again. That's something I might do a little video on someday too, is the goop that I use. Gator calls it goop bubble gum. Anyway, yeah, that was a couple of things there. And we had, maybe 1 or 2 carburetor issues, I suppose. Leaking fuel. A fair amount of electrical trouble, but that's been kind of rectified. Of course, an old tractor like that, everybody gets into it, the previous owners, from doing this and doing that, and who knows what they're doing, so, and if they know what they're doing, so that's the other thing. So anyway, it's been working pretty good electrical-wise last number of years. We have added the revolving light on the top, and over on the other side there's a light over there to brighten the night up if you're out doing snow blowing at night. And we just recently, in the last couple of years, added a heated seat to it. Electrically wise, yeah, other than that, not too bad. Oh, I did change the headlights in here. These types of headlights are bad for going all yellow and cracked from the sun beating on them and from the heat from the bulb in there. So I got a set of lenses somewhere, I can't remember where, and put them in, and that's been good ever since. But it never sits outside in the sun anymore. So now, case people know, it seems to be a thing with case, I don't know why, but in this tractor, these are glass. So you never have trouble with those. And people seem to search for those, and apparently worth a fair little dollar. So now back onto the Ford here. What else did we have trouble with? Oh yes, the steering box broke once. And I think I took that apart and fixed it, and then it broke again, so I took it to a machinist and he fixed it, and it hasn't broken since then. That kind of tells you something, doesn't it? What else broke? The drag link here. This broke. Can't see that it broke at the other end up here, but it's the same as this end. Broke right there, where the threads go in. And the spindle broke one time. Wheel fell right off. And I have a new one in there somewhere that I've never put on. My son and I made a new spindle for it because it was going to be a while before we could get a new one. And I doubt if you could even buy them anymore now. So the reason why all this stuff breaks is the heavy attachments on the front. Like that snowblower is heavy, and that's hard on the steering. That's a snow thrower, I should say. But the snow blower that I'll go and show you here in a little bit is even heavier and sticks out even further than this one. So that's even more pressure on the front end. So that's why all that stuff breaks, is because of the front end attachments. And that's the same thing with any of them, like, you know, the John Deere, that on the front, and cases with that on the front, and now us putting the loader on a case, if you were kind of wondering about that. But anyway, we just have to be careful with it, I guess. But anyway, they are heavy. That stuff on the front, like that snow thrower there, is probably, I'm guessing probably 250 pounds. So it's a lot of weight. A lot of weight. I did put the 3 rib tires on the front. For a few reasons. One, it just looks neat because it makes it look like a tractor. 2, there's less rubber on the ground, so it makes it a little easier to steer. And 3, traction, steering traction. That tractor, if you get onto a side hill, not much of a side hill either, and you get stuck on the snowbank with the turf tires that originally come on them, you can't get out. The tractor may move, but it'll only move ahead and move back. No matter where you have the steering wheel turned, you're not steering out of it. Now, with those tires on there, you can steer out of it, and you get yourself unstuck. So front tires on a tractor are, especially a two-wheel drive tractor, that's why they have that style of tractor tire on them. That's for traction. And a lot of the older tractors had that style, but they were skinny, and that made them easier to go through mud and goo and all that stuff. And had that three-rib style for traction to steer. So anyway, yeah, so most garden tractors like this one, the John Deere, the Massey Fergusons, they all have the same steering box basically, and it's called a Ross steering box. And with that extra weight on the front, that's hard on them. And I know that Massey Ferguson 12 there, I know I'm getting off topic here, but with the loader on it, and well, I've used it for years, but I mean, the front bolt in the axle, the pivot bolt in the center, it broke once, and the axle fell out from under it. So it's hard on the front end. Even though they're fairly heavily built, the steering is just not up quite the standard, I don't think, on most of them, as far as I know. So anyway, what else have we got? Oh, that chute. I modified that chute. The chute on the John Deere, that style of chute, is what was on the Fords and the Jacobsons. And that style of chute was used on a lot of different snowblowers, and I think even on some walk-behind snowblowers. So anyway, I changed that, so I've got more of a gradual curve as compared to the other one on the John Deere. It kind of comes up and very quick kind of comes over. This chute is off of a walk-behind snowblower, and it works great. This thing will throw snow, boys, holy cats. It works good. And I just hooked up an old, I think it's a power window motor. We rigged that up and up to there, and put a switch inside, just up and down with your top deflector. That works good. A little bit kind of a screwy setup for driving snow blowers on garden tractors, some of them. Like this one. You can see the 90-degree gearbox in here. So when you go straight in, there's a pulley in there, and it's hooked directly to the engine by a belt. And then there's a spring-loaded tensioner that holds the belt tight. So then you come out, you come across to here, and you drive straight ahead with the chain onto the auger. If I can get in there. There's the chain. And as I said, this is a snow thrower, not a snow blower. I did modify the auger also, so it, instead of throwing out twice in a full revolution, it throws out 4 times. So, and what else? Oh, I had to replace the front window in the cab. I had to replace the side windows in the cab. They were the original windows, and they were all kind of gone all yellow, kind of like this. This stuff is the original windows. So you couldn't see out. So I got that stuff from an upholstery place and put that in and put one in the back. I gotta clean them up a little bit, but hydrostatic, yeah. Never, ever, have ever had a problem with the hydrostatic transmission. Never. And I don't ever expect to. It's heavy built, and it's even an automatic locking differential in it. So she'll take quite a pull when she gets going and wants to dig. And I have my weight box on the back. The weight box itself is a water trough from years ago at the farm. And what else? Well, we'll have a look inside here. Dave's favorite part, the cab. So it's the same as the Kablooey. It has its own original hour meter, but it does not work now. We have an amp meter, and we have one of those tax hour meter, and it tells you to change the oil every 25 hours. We put that in shortly after we bought the tractor. So we have the two-speed transaxle shift there, and then that's where the front hydraulic shifter would be, if there was one. This is our lift up and down. This is our lock for our brake, throttle, choke, adjustment for attachments height, and the heated seat. That's the switch for the heated the heated seat. And then the other little switch there is for the light up top outside on the cab. Over here we have the switch for the deflector on the snow thrower. Snow thrower. Yeah, I'll get them mixed up sometimes. So that's the switch to put the deflector down and then back up. Yes, sirree, there for the tractor. All right, we'll go out and have a quick look at the snow blower and give you some ideas as to why we don't use that anymore. And part of the reason is just wore out. And can't get parts for it. But it worked great, and it throws snow very well, but there was always something wrong with it seemed. Anyway, you can see the auger there, and then you see the drive system. So you have the drive system here coming in, onto here. This goes onto that one, and it goes to the 90-degree gearbox, comes out, comes up here, and across to the impeller. Then this chain here goes ahead to the auger. So there's an awful lot of change of direction in power on these. That's the trouble with them. And that's heavy. And I can't show you because it's sitting down, but the auger or the impeller in there we made. My son and I made that. And I can't quite remember why we made that, but I'm sure something went haywire in here with the bearing. And for some reason we couldn't get anything apart, and we figured the amount of time and money it would take to get that apart, it would be easier to build a new impeller. So, oh, excuse me. So, the original impeller had four paddles on it to throw snow out. So we figured while we were making one, we'd make it a little different. We put 5 paddles on it. And yeah, it worked great. Yeah, throw snow. And as you can see, we were changing pulleys and stuff like that here. It just works great, but very unreliable. Anyhow, yeah, it's kind of too bad. But anyway, that's kind of why I went to I seen that snow thrower for sale one day, and I figured, well, I'm going to go and get that. So, and it was for a open side tractor, so it had a little bit tiny different mounting system, but we got that all figured out. And so some of the reasons why I went that route was, one, it had less moving parts, less change of direction for power, and so easier to operate and more reliable. Next was weight, a little bit less weight in the snow thrower as compared to the snow blower. And the snow thrower is probably about 3 to 4 inches closer to the front of the tractor than this snow blower. So that kind of helps with a little less weight on the front end system. So those are my reasons as to why I changed that. So anyway, this did work good, but like I say, very unreliable. All right. Of course, when it was all brand new, it would work really well. But the second owner used the snowblower and the tiller, but never used the mowing deck. And I'm pretty sure I know where the first owner lived. And in his yard, you could see that he would have used the snow thrower and the mowing deck and the tiller. So, there now. And I have the front end kind of, the grill blocked off a bit there to keep the heat off of the snow chute, because it just melts the snow. And you don't want that either. So. It's even got a manual wiper on it. Look at that, Dave. Jabbits. Anyway, I guess that's about all I can think of that we've done to this tractor, and like I say, we've had it for 20 years yesterday. Oh, we do still have the rear wheels and turf tires that came on it when it was new. Somebody had put those on. And we have all the manuals for it too, for the snow blower and the mowing deck, and for the tiller. And there's a brochure there with all the different types of attachments that could come on it. And one of them was a loader. And I kind of think that that's why those are there on each side. So that's where the arm, the tower of the loader would be in here, and your lift arm would come out through here. I don't know the brand of loader that they had, but I kind of think it was a Johnson. So, there we go. A video on the Ford LGT 165 tractor. Oh yes, another thing, I guess. 5-gallon fuel tank. The lower horsepower tractors all looked the same, but they had smaller engines. They had 10, 12, 14, and then this one is 16. But this one has the 5-gallon tank. I don't think the 14 had the 5-gallon, but the 10 and the 12 did not either. But I'm not sure about the 14, if it had 5-gallon or the 3-gallon. Anyway, we'll go back in here for a minute. And the lower horsepower tractors didn't have the hour meter. They didn't have the adjustable seat. If you just slide back and forth, you had to unbolt it and then rebolt it where you wanted it. There we go now. The camera shut off on me. Anyway, just the seat, you had to unbolt it to change the adjustment on it. On the lower horsepower tractors, where this one has got a handle and it slides back and forth. And there's a few other options that the 16 horsepower tractor had that the 14, 12, and 10 didn't have. Anyway, so now we're over the 30 minutes because that's when the camera shuts off. And another longer video, I suppose. Anyway, she's a great old machine, boys, I'll tell you. She's a heavy one, that's for sure. Most garden tractors are in the 750 pound range, like the John Deere's. That John Deere's 770, I think, without any attachments. I believe this one is around 7, maybe 720 or 30 pounds, no attachments on it. The 12 is it's a little lighter tractor. It's in the 650 to 675 weight with no attachments. And a little 97, I think it's 500 pounds without the deck on it. So the older garden tractors were heavy. Some of them, like I say, are not as heavy as others, but Gator's wheel horse, it was a 520H, I believe. And it's around the 650 to 675 pounds range, I think, without any attachments on it. So there we go. That's a little overview of our 20-year-old, to us, tractor. Yeah, she's been quite a machine. She's gone through a lot of snowstorms. She's gone through snow that was coming up over the engine bonnet. The snow was that deep that it was just going right over the top of the blowers, going into the bank, and the bank was falling down, and you'd have to back out and go ahead again. And oh boy, I'm telling you, some of the snowstorms that's gone through. I've got some pictures of of all that, but I don't know how you put them on a video. A lot of snow this tractor has seen. Anyhow, I'm starting to ramble and go on foolish, so I might as well stop and maybe try and hopefully keep it kind of short so that you'll watch. I know it's kind of long. I try to keep the videos shorter now because I know some people don't like watching the long ones. I'm kind of the same way. Depends on what it is. If it's long and it's interesting, I'll watch. But anyway, that's it for now. So I think maybe today is going to be, well, today sort of has been a hibernation day, sort of. I've got the fire on in the garage here again. And let's see now, there's Kablooey. Basically, like I said, the same tractor. It is a Jacobson, that one, but somebody had painted it blue. There now. Oh yeah, don't be looking at those things there then. Those are bad for you. All right, the rambling and the foolishness is going to stop. So have a great day wherever you are at and whatever you are doing. And we'll see you again another time, maybe. Goodbye.